Social media platforms and tech giants are facing report cards and public grilling this week on both sides of the Atlantic. On Wednesday, U.S. congressmen will ask the CEOs of Facebook, Twitter, and Alphabet about what they're doing and what they're not doing to keep terrorists and their propaganda offline. Here in Europe, we will find out what the EU thinks of the latest efforts by Facebook, Twitter, and Google to deal with hate speech online. Now, there are no EU laws forcing tech companies to act yet. But French President Macron, he isn't waiting any longer. He plans to introduce legislation this year to ban fake news during elections and to force tech companies to police their content.
I've decided to change our legal arsenal to protect democratic life from fake news. We'll impose stricter transparency rules on platforms for sponsored content to make public the identity of advertisers and those who control them. We'll also cap the money channeled towards the content.
Well, here in Germany, a new anti-hate speech law took effect on January 1st, designed to force social media platforms to remove hate speech quickly or face huge fines. The law, which is known as NetzDG, puts the state at the center of a debate over free speech versus digital censorship. Germany is now recruiting armies of cyber content cops. And a note on the language here. In English, people responding to hate speech reports are referred to as content moderators. In German, they are members of what's known as a Lösch team, and if you translate directly, it means delete team. Now, it may sound harsh at first, but perhaps it's more to the point, and perhaps it's even more honest. My next guest tonight spent 3 months inside one of those content management teams for Facebook right here in Berlin. She recounted her experiences and the reasons for leaving so soon in an article published in a German newspaper last week entitled 3 Months in Hell. And tonight, Borju Goltekin-Punzman joins me here in Studio 3 at the big table. I think that's an improvement from 3 months in hell. Borju, it's good to have you on the show. I mean, we laugh and grin about the title, but 3 months in hell, what made it so bad?
Well, thanks for having me.
Sure.
Again, a bit surprised to be under the spotlight. What makes it so difficult? The way the work is organized was very constraining, rigid. You are in a factory world of the digital age. Well, but many other people are working this way. And I've been so far lucky enough to be able to work very differently. And as I just arrived to Berlin 6 months ago, was looking for a job that I could perform without being fluent in German. Mm-hmm. And I found myself in this world. But what is very specific here is the violence that you encounter. We work on a very violent content.
Yeah, the content. I'd like to share a part of what you wrote about your time with Facebook with our viewers. You write, I found myself in a factory world as part of a global digital proletariat. I don't know whether we were producing anything, but I got the sense that we were helping to keep a multi-billion industry running. I sometimes had the impression that I was working in the emergency services, and at other times in law enforcement. I felt powerless as I couldn't intervene. The only power that the content moderator has is to delete a post. I mean, those are some profound thoughts there. But did you really feel that your job was to keep a monster-sized company in business?
No, this will not be correct. And what makes this work also difficult is the fact that the profession of content moderators doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. And those performing this task are called center agents. And they're paid probably less than call center agents.
Yeah, because it's called, I think Bloomberg called it the worst job in the tech industry right now.
I'm not so familiar with the other jobs, but Just a small correction. I haven't worked directly for Facebook, but I was one of the outsourced reviewers, so this is important. But you see, the reason why, this paper got published, or the reason why I wrote it, I wanted to reflect, to try to distantiate myself from this content that I've been facing 8 hours every day.
Because you said you didn't have time at work ever to reflect on the content that you were deleting, right?
No, this is not correct. So this is not what I said, that you don't, there's no space for really debriefing or reflecting on the impact that this content can have on you. The reason why I came, I decided to write, they are very personal notes, and it was, for me, a way, I know that it's very important to talk about something that has affected you. In order not to carry it with you for the rest of your life.
Right.
And again, I worked previously as a scholar. I'm used to do some kind of analysis.
Yeah, and talking and communicating, right?
I think that especially when I'm affected by an issue, I was as well myself surprised of the result of, and I'm very grateful as well that the Süddeutsche Zeitung show interest in them.
Yeah,
was that then I felt the need to share. And as you asked whether I had impression of helping a multi-million industry to keep going on, that was not really a big concern for me. I think that is what most of my former colleagues will agree with, is that I had a sense of responsibility, and what I was doing was important.
Were you trained to be aware of that? Did Facebook tell you how important your job was, that managing this content is very powerful?
No, we're not. That our job is important, that what we do is important. We know, during the training that I enjoyed very much, and by the way, it was short. It was the only time when we could interact and reflect.
Too short.
Too short, yes, and that we didn't have this kind of interaction afterwards. But you understand that what you see really, I discussed lengthily about that. It's reflection of the society, digital reflection. First, I was trying to convince myself that I was exposed only to the most violent segment of the society, marginal. Yeah. But then when what you see is, by 70% made of this kind of content, you start questioning about how, if the society has not become insane.
Did you have any content with the owners or contact with the owners of the content? Let's say you decided that something should be deleted. Did you have contact? Did you explain why something was deleted? Is there any type of reason given to the person who posted it?
So first, we don't see at all the identity of the person who's behind the post. The reporter can be seen or not. This is he can decide on that, but we don't see it. Even we don't have time, because we have to make our mind in some 13 seconds.
13 seconds.
And you are supposed to handle over 1,000 or more, 1,500 reports every day.
That's amazing.
Put into context, however, this is, I read somewhere that was that more than 6 million reports were generated worldwide every week. It's massive, that's right. And
that's an incredible amount of a pressure put on you. Do you feel like you were doing a job that maybe the state or the government should be doing instead? You're basically censoring information that's been posted. Did you feel that responsibility was too great, and that the state had outsourced it to you?
That's a very important question. And, I will say no and no first. I mean, I don't think that I was censoring. I really reflected about what my role was. Censoring, I don't think so. I really dealt much more with behaviors than really speech, because there is a great amount of... It's free. You have the freedom to offend. You have the freedom to challenge, to upset. I mean, that's really, I mean... but no, behaviors, and very abnormal behaviors, and behaviors that can cause real harm in the world. If the state should just drop, no, again.
Yeah.
No, because that's what will happen at the end.
Yeah, I mean,
that there should be more support, well, from the private companies, from the technology companies, and that can try to come with some other innovative solutions, and then support, yes, from private, public sources, perhaps. Well, but this job cannot be done by the...
what you did was very important, Borju, and I wish we had more time to talk about it, but I will definitely let our viewers know where they can read the piece that was in the paper, too, and so that they can hear your story and learn a little bit more. Borju Gültekin-Punzman tonight, telling your story about being a content manager. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
No.